am having, Mac.
At this current point in time of recording, we are less than 2 weeks away from the official release of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, or even less depending on when you're watching this video. That said, I am extremely excited for this movie, so I came with some last minute predictions to see if I'm actually correct in what's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have with me 10 random predictions for what's going to happen in the Mario Bros. Movie. If you're watching this video before the movie releases, then congratulations, feel free to let your predictions fly in the comment section down below. But if you're watching the movie afterwards, let me know just how accurate my predictions actually were. But anyway,
Here we go!
with my first prediction, I actually believe that Wario and Waluigi will be in the first movie, which is this one. And just to be clear, I don't believe it'll be a post-credit scene either. I think it'll actually be in the beginning of the film itself. And the reason I say this is because we know that Spike and the Mario Brothers, for whatever reason, aren't exactly on great terms. And I feel like the Mario Brothers left and started their own business, as we see here in some of the trailers, but I think that Spike hired some replacements, and those replacements could possibly be Wario and Waluigi. There is also a theory out there that Spike is actually Wario, and the reason people are thinking this is because we have not seen Spike yet, and perhaps his design is actually very similar to that of Wario's, and maybe if he shaves his beard and takes off the hat, we'll see that he actually looks more like Wario than any other character we could possibly think of. I mean, we already know for a fact that the Mario Brothers do not like Spike, and it's pretty much a mutual feeling, as Spike has left some really rude comments on their website. But I think it's important to note this because Wario and Mario have had a very long history of being, rivals. And perhaps this could be taking place here with Mario and Spike, and maybe Spike dons the appearance of Wario because he wants to be the opposite of Mario, the better version, if you will. And this gets a bit tricky because I don't know where exactly Waluigi would fall into play if this were to be the case, but either way, I definitely see Wario getting in. On to my second prediction, I believe that Rosalina will be in this movie. And I've been saying this for a little while, ever since we got that Luma Lee announcement, or I guess not even an announcement, that leak that McDonald's had up with their Happy Meal toys. Ever since then, I've had the belief that Rosalina was going to be in the movie. The reason I say this is because I feel like they're doing way too much to not have her in there in the first place. Because if they don't, it just feels like a big tease. We've got Rainbow Road here, we've got the Luma Lee, and we've also got Peach referencing the number of galaxies across the, the world and everything like that. It only makes sense that Rosalina would have an appearance in some capacity in this movie, and I'm sure it probably won't be anything too major, most likely probably a post-credit scene, that's my best guess. And I know Rainbow Road isn't a direct Rosalina reference or whatever, because it's been in Mario Kart since basically day one, but it's important to remember that Rainbow Road's in space. What other space characters can we think of? Yeah, Rosalina. Moving on to my third point, which also has something to do with the post-credit scene, I believe that Bowser Jr. will actually be in the movie as well. Now, again, I think this will most likely be post-credit scene. I do not see Bowser Jr. showing up in this movie in any other capacity if not a post-credit scene. I feel like this is definitely the time to do it because you can have a whole second movie set up with space and Rosalina and Bowser Jr. being there. In my opinion, that would be a very interesting subplot because there'd be this whole dilemma between the characters like, oh my gosh, wait, Bowser has a son? What is going on here? Also, I do want to make it clear here now, I think the movie will actually have 2 post-credit scenes. I don't think there'll be just the one, and this has happened with other movies in the past before as well, where we've gotten multiple post-credit scenes, so this isn't anything really new, but I think this movie will definitely go in that direction, with these 2 post-credit scenes being Rosalina and Bowser Jr. Before I go any further, I want to talk to you guys a bit about today's sponsor, Aura, the new standard in digital security. I know for me personally, I've lost access to previous accounts because my password was leaked in online data breaches and everything like that, and it can be really stressful, and I hate to admit it, but I've actually lost access to this account, SONICSTA, on multiple occasions. And as I said, it can be really stressful and scary. So that's exactly where today's sponsor comes into play, Aura. Aura is an awesome app that's able to identify data brokers that are exposing your information and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Essentially, Aura creates a wall around your information and constantly surveils what goes in and out, all for your protection. Another really cool thing about Aura is that it contains a VPN, a password manager, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, and it can protect you from malware. In brief, Aura does the hard work in protecting you online, and that is exactly why you should sign up today. If you use the link in my description, you will gain access to a 2-week free trial, and I'm sure you'll be surprised by how much private information Aura finds exposed in just that time frame alone. To sign up, click the link in the description, scan the QR code here, or go to aura.com/SONICSTA. Moving on to my fourth prediction, and this is actually not entirely about the movie itself, but more so about the future of this franchise. I feel like this movie is definitely setting up a DK spin-off. Now, granted, I did not come to this prediction on my own, as there was a rumor going around a little while ago that DK would get his own spin-off movie, but I have never been more confident in a prediction. Like, this is the thing I'm most confident about on my entire list here. And the reason I say that is because they're doing so much with the DK family that it just feels like you're setting up for an entire universe or an entire storyline with all these characters. In my opinion, I feel like you have way too much going on in this DK poster here to not be alluding to something more in the future. I just feel like the potential is there and they know it. And for them to just kind of do all of this and go out just like this and do nothing else in the future would, again, just be a major tease. I'm telling you, we're going to get some DK content in the near future. I'm not sure when, but I know it's coming. This next prediction is probably the easiest one to make, and again, I do feel very confident in this one, probably as much as I do about the DK one. I think that this Toad that we see so often in the trailers is going to become Captain Toad at the end of the movie. I know, total shocker. But the reason I make this prediction is not because, the song was playing during that conversation between him and Mario in one of the most recent clips, but also because I don't think the role of Captain Toad exists yet, or at all. I think the Toad we're seeing right now in the movie is just a regular Toad who really wants to have adventure and explore, which makes him very different from all the other Toads that we see in the trailer that seem to be pretty helpless and defenseless. But I think this Toad will be set apart because he'll be actually going on the adventure with Mario and Peach to save Luigi and eventually save the entire Mushroom Kingdom. And I think at that moment, after, the entire world is saved, Peach will dub him Captain Toad. And then maybe we'll see him don the entire Captain Toad apparel, and he'll be perfectly ready for the Galaxy sequel, which is inevitably coming. My next prediction is a bold one, and I think it might be one of the boldest ones on this list. I think that Yoshi's going to be playing a huge role. Now, the reason why I say this prediction is so bold is because we have not really seen anything with the green Yoshi yet. I don't think we've seen him anywhere outside of being, the green Yoshi egg in one of the earliest posters. But outside of that, nothing. And that's pretty crazy. If you had told me before the movie was announced that Yoshi wouldn't be a main character, I would have been shocked. So I think this is why it's a pretty bold prediction now, because we don't know where he is, and I don't know why. It would be really weird if we had Yoshi Island in the movie, but no green Yoshi in sight, not even as like a side character or something. It would just be strange. I mean, it's possible they're saving him for the sequel, but it's really unlikely. I think the person who should meet up with Yoshi first is probably Luigi, since Mario's already with Toad and Peach. It would be kind of, a bit much if he was with 4 different characters, where Luigi's kind of all by himself. It'd be nice for him to have a partner, because it looks like he really could use some moral support here. Speaking of the fellow in green, I do believe that we're going to be seeing some Luigi's Mansion scenes in this movie. I think actually in the first trailer, we saw Luigi run towards this castle, and I don't know whose castle it is, but I would not be surprised if it was some sort of haunted castle that was dark and mysterious that had a bunch of booze in there. I mean, this is basically inevitable. I mean, we did have a previous phone call with Luigi where he was able to say mansions, as we all heard, so I don't believe this movie is going to be afraid to dive into doing some of Luigi's Mansion material, and I think it'll be shown here in some of Luigi's scenes in the movie. I don't believe it's out of the realm of possibility that King Boo will be in the movie, but we have to keep in mind this movie's going to be an hour and 35 minutes or so I don't know if they're going to completely stuff this movie with everything when they can easily save stuff for sequels or spin-offs. So, Luigi's Mansion spin-off, please, I would love to see it. Moving on to one of my weakest predictions, probably one of the easiest ones to guess, but I don't think Pauline's role in the movie will be very big at all. I think it'll be very light, and I think it actually could be played by the actual Pauline voice actress from the game, Kate Higgins, and I'm not sure if they're going to be doing a whole lot with her character, unfortunately, just because I don't know if we're going to be spending a whole lot of time in Brooklyn, and I don't see her going to the Mushroom Kingdom in any capacity. I feel like Pauline's role will probably just be to kind of set the atmosphere of Brooklyn and make it feel all nice and cozy, but I don't know if she'll have any major lines or really that much screen time at all, which is a little unfortunate, but Hey, I mean, at least she got in. We don't know anything about Daisy, who isn't actually on my prediction list. I think, actually, while we're already on the subject of Daisy, this is kind of like a bonus prediction here before I get to my number 9, but I think Daisy actually will be mentioned in the movie at most. I don't see her actually being in this movie, and I really hope that I'm wrong. Moving on to my penultimate prediction, I believe that Cappy will be in the movie in some capacity. And that sounds crazy to say after saying that Daisy won't be in the movie, but hear me out. You see, I see the Crazy Cap story in some of these shots of the movie, and I gotta be honest, it is pretty much a big stretch to believe that Cappy will be in the movie just because of the Crazy Cap store, but I can see him having some sort of background cameo or something. No lines whatsoever, but I can see like a whole, blink and you'll miss it kind of situation with him. Daisy's a bit different because she's a princess of a kingdom. I can't see her just showing up randomly in the Mushroom Kingdom for no reason at all. I mean, it certainly is possible, but I think Cappy's probably more possible in that happening, considering the whole, crazy cap shop. He could easily just be, like, standing next to it, or I guess floating next to it. And for my final prediction of the video that I've probably said in multiple Mario movie videos that I've made, is that I believe that Princess Peach will be getting kidnapped. Now, I know this is a huge and bold claim to be making, but I feel like we've done this routine with the Mario series for so long now, it would be very weird for the movie not to follow suit. And I know that we're kind of setting a new agenda here with Luigi being kidnapped, but I think the roles will be quickly reversed because I think Peach is actually going to go in on her own and get kidnapped by Bowser, or something bad is going to happen. I'm not sure, but Peach is definitely going to get kidnapped, and Mario's going to have to utilize the skills that Peach taught him in order to prove to the princess, Bowser, and himself that he is more than capable of taking down, Bowser, and proving that he is better. It can be like a perfect hero origin story, pretty much like your underdog story, because I think there's not going to be a whole lot of faith in Mario's abilities in the beginning of the movie, but towards the end, he'll prove to everyone that, hey, he is Super Mario. That said, what are some of your predictions for the Super Mario Bros. Movie? I'd love to see what you guys have to say. Let me know in the comments down below, and also if you've already seen the movie, let me know where I was right and where I was wrong. That said, thank you all again so much for watching. It is Sonic signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?